So yeah, we would um we have to wear these vests, like neon yellow vest. I, or green, whatever. I like it's neon. You know, it's really bright colored, and it would have all these pockets for your pins, notepad, um, dog treats. We'd have a lot of dogs come in, and some cats and some ferrets, but mostly dogs. And we'd have this one regular customer, this really old guy. He was a World War II veteran. That's a tongue twister. So he's really old. He's seen some shit, and he survived it all. And his dog looked just as old as he was old ass dog, and it would bark, and oh my god, it would make your ears ring. It was almost like a squeal, like a really high pitched squeal, but it was a bark. And he would bark, 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 and like I said, his bark was so high pitched, not like a girly high pitch, but it was piercing, like ear piercing. That's the right word, ear piercing sound, where it make your ears just like ring. But once you gave him treats, then he's fine. But he would bark and bark, and you have to give him like maybe like two treats, and you're always supposed to give like one treat. But sometimes we would give more than one treat to some dogs. I know one of my managers. Well, actually, he was more like um, he would work with us. You know, he wasn't like inside, at the desk, dealing with people inside. He worked with us, but he basically ran the place, made sure it ran smoothly. And like I said, he was kind of like a manager because, he worked there for a really long time and he knows all the ins and outs, knows all the rules, knows all the managers, has to deal with all the crap inside, whenever a manager comes in and talks to him. But he would always love to give treats to dogs and whatnot, and he's a really really nice guy. Uh, there's all kinds of characters, that I worked with. All kinds of characters. Let's see. There's one guy that worked there for, I want to say, let's see how many years, like 19 years, 20 years, something like that. At our pad, that's more than anyone combined. Even my kind of like manager I was talking about. He wasn't really a manager, but he was just pretty much oversaw everything. Like I said, he worked with us. He would work. He was always the opener. An opener, he was always 5:30, leaving at, I want to say like 2:30 or so. So yeah, yeah. There's one guy that worked there for a very 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 long time. Um, Really interesting character. Let's see. Here, what else? And I live pretty close by to my workplace. I could walk, or I could ride my bike. Which actually I rode my bike most of the time. It was a good workout. Get my blood pumping. got my muscles, all loosened up and fired up, ready for the day. Especially, towards the end there before I had to move. Like I told you guys, I would always get there. I always wake up around 4 a.m., take a shower, eat, watch some TV, and I would leave real early. I always try to be out the door 30 minutes till I have to actually clock in, because I kind of figure it takes some time to get there, to put my bike up, lock it up, go into the employee door, go inside, switch my shoes, because I would always wear some boots, because we're on the concrete, constantly moving, power walking, and you'd be surprised how many miles we would walk. Miles and miles and miles. Just walking around, spinning, power walking, hopping. We were really, really busy, like I told you. And your feet would be killing you. Feel like they're on fire, or they're getting ready to fall off, or it's like your feet, your knees, your hips, constant pain. Not all the time, but like I said, it was always busy, and there are different intensity levels of busy. There was busy, and then there was really, really busy. And that's when there's all kinds of shit happening, and you're just can't just sit, stand around. There was, like I said, they were always busy. And some days we're busy, and we'd be able to relax and do some other stuff, clean up, or, do other stuff that we couldn't get to because we were so busy. Like I said, we get so busy sometimes we can't even do some of the things that we're normally doing if we had the time. We would, there's always the smallest things that would get you behind. We'd have to change the receipts in the machines. So we have to run inside the kiosk, go get the keys, run outside. Well, not really run outside, because they told another rule is never ever run on the pad, because there's cars that come in, and there's a little bit of blind spots on the left and the right side of the kiosk. There's two doors on the left and the right. You can come out through the left or come out through the right. And if you run out, there could be a car that comes flying in, because either they're impatient or they see a spot and they don't want anyone to take it, so they come zooming in. And the thing is, there are speed bumps just before you hit the actual pad. There's speed bumps because I guess in the past, before I worked there, people have been hit because they are running across the pad, trying to work harder or faster, which our little motto there was work smarter, not harder. That means don't try to run all over the place and sitting there going super fast and working your fucking ass off, because you're going to burn yourself out of energy and strength, physically and mentally. And if you're running across the pad, you could trip, you could fall, you could excuse me, you could get hit. You're not paying attention, your mind's going a million miles per hour, and bam, you get hit. One of my best friends actually got hit by a Mustang and fucked up his lower back or hip or something. So, he has a problem moving around real quick. The little, the guy I was talking about earlier, the kind of like manager, had like a knee surgery or something real bad where he can't really move around and run around because his knee's all fucked up. But like I said, like little things like that with the run outside with the keys, go in, put the key in, turn it, pull it down, pull out the roll of paper, like whatever is left, or maybe just the cardboard, roll, and put in a new one, feed it through, make sure it comes through, and when you pop it back in, it spits out a receipt, and you just pull it, and it has little teeth, and it just rips, and then you can continue. And sometimes the customer gets impatient, sometimes they don't, but it doesn't matter because you're just doing your job. Like it's like little things like that, just routine things that you have to do that's part of your job that might slow you down a little bit. You just got to keep in mind that you got to work, smarter, not harder. Don't worry about them because you're going to get to them eventually, no matter if they've been sitting there for 30 seconds, 40 seconds. And let me tell you, they will lie. They'll make up shit out of their ass. Okay, so maybe you have to help a customer, or something happened in the kiosk with the register, or something happened. Maybe you're waiting for a customer because some people pay with cash, a check, or cards, and a customer's sitting there waiting on you because they're such in a rush. Or maybe you've been sitting there. Maybe they've been sitting there for like 1 minute or 2 minutes, and they're like, "Hey, someone help me! I've been sitting here for like 10, 15 minutes." They'll make shit up. Like they'll turn 30 seconds or a minute into like 15 minutes, and get all pissed, and they'll jump out of their car or their truck or whatever vehicle they're driving, try to intimidate you, stand up in your face and start yelling at you, or ask for the manager, or whatever, trying to intimidate you, or sometimes they'll try to get you to use your employee card to get an extra discount, which you can't use 2 different discount cards. You can only use one per transaction. And it really doesn't save you that much money. It really doesn't save you that much money, but I guess to some people, getting a discount, is a really big deal. Like they're gonna be saving a ton of money. Some of them come in not getting that much. They're like, "Yeah, I want to use my discount. I'm not getting a full tank. I'm not filling up the other half of my tank. I'm just getting maybe 5 gallons or 4 gallons or whatever, because I always have to be on full or past full." And they always have to have their discount when they can save it. They can actually save it up, save their points, and use it for when they actually need it. Like when they're almost on empty, or maybe they need fill up the other half of their tank, maybe their half tank, and they need to be on full because they need to go somewhere and it's gonna take whole tank. Or sometimes they'll come in with other family members just right behind them, and will use one card on both on the same transaction. Like for instance, there was a customer where she was coming in to fill up her tank, and then her son was coming in his car, or whatever, the car that he was driving. I don't know if it was his or not, but so we hold the tank, we hold the hose, and so when she's done, he pulls up, her son, and then we fill up his tank, and we just go on from there. So, yeah.